Hey guys, it's Sim Queen, and today I am going to be doing another speed build for Windenburg. This is the third and final lot for the old Platzl, and it's going to be a bar. So earlier I actually demolished and built a home on the lot that was supposed to be the Old Quarter Inn, it was called, which is a bar in Windenburg, and I wanted to keep that idea. I like the idea of having that bar in Windenburg, but I wanted to basically move it to another lot. So this is going to be called the new Old Quarter Inn. So it's a bar, and I mean, I don't know why I felt compelled to completely demolish the lot that was here before. It was a nightclub, but I think when I got here, I was just so overwhelmed by like the size and the wasted space of this lot, and I didn't even really like the way it looked from the outside, and to me it felt like a total write-off. So I did try to renovate it, and I wasn't feeling it. So I demolished the whole thing and built this lot from the ground up, and I'm actually really happy with how it turned out. I think my confidence for community lots is getting a lot better, which is good. I think I've just been spending a lot of time building these community lots, or at least renovating them, and so I'm getting a little bit more confident with it. This was actually, of course, inspired by a picture that I found on, I think it was just Google Images, which is usually where I go for inspiration, especially when I'm not exactly sure what I want to go for. But this was actually a bar in Germany, I believe. I read a little bit about it because I was interested by the build itself, and I think this just fit in so well with this Platzl, and I'm so happy with how it turned out. So we've got a bar, a cafe, and a restaurant in these three little, it's kind of like a town square area. I forgot that it was called the Platzl, which just makes so much sense for this this little community, or I guess not community, it's more like a neighborhood, I guess, of Windenburg, and I think it's just so perfect. So it's finally complete, and I have one more lot to do for this sort of area. I think that the party house, let me just check here, the party house is actually considered to be part of the old Platzl. And I just actually finished that renovation. So that's kind of like where Marcus Flex and I can't remember the other three. I don't know why. For some reason, there's four of them living in that house. It's called the Old Factory. And for some reason, I can only ever remember Marcus Flex. The rest of them kind of just don't seem as important to me. But yeah, I just renovated that house. I actually really had a lot of fun with it, and I'm happy with how it turned out. And that will be up probably next week, maybe. And then the other one that I'm kind of iffy about is the Ancient Ruins. Like, looks like it might be on the other side of the Platzl, so I don't think it counts for this neighborhood. But it also, there's like a little kind of archway that leads into it that is on the side, the Platzl side. So I can't tell if the Ancient Ruins is something that I should do now or later. I'm not really feeling it right now, so I think I'm just going to do the party house and move on to some residential lots. I could go over to what's called the Like Center, and that's where all those community lots, like the gym, I think there's a nightclub, a pool, a park, and a cafe. So that's where all those lots are, but I think I'm just kind of tapped out for community lots at the moment, and I'm actually going to move over to, I got my game open right now so I can remember these neighborhood names, but this one's called Winslaar, and the description says wide open spaces and a chateau or two. Visit or live in Winslaar for a delectable taste of countryside living. So that is way more up my alley, I think, than community lots. So I think as a reward for finishing the old Platzl, I'm going to go over and do some of those sort of more like country style homes in Windenburg, and I'll finish up that neighborhood next. I have just been enjoying this save file so much, and I did get a question on my last video asking when this would be done, and honestly it's going to be a long time, I think, because I'm only in Windenburg and we have a lot of worlds to get through, and I mean they're constantly adding new worlds, so I think it's going to be a while before this is complete. But what I might do is maybe after Windenburg is done, I could upload the save file just as is, and you can have the first four, would it be 4 or 5 worlds? Let me just check. Willow Creek, Oasis Springs, Newcrest, Magnolia Promenade, and Windenburg. So the first 5 worlds will be done after Windenburg, but then we still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10, sorry. There's 10 more worlds, and then there's also 2 destination worlds. I don't have Journey to Batuu. I probably never will. I have no interest in it. So that one I'm not going to include. But yeah, the other 2, Granite Falls and Selva Dorada, I will be doing those as well. And it seems like a really daunting task, but I've been enjoying it so much that I don't really care how long it takes. I know it's probably going to be years before this is done, but like I said, I'm just enjoying it so much that I'm not too worried about like the time. And I just kind of sit down and build whenever I do have the time, which I fortunately do have right now. I actually got 2 renovations done in just a couple of days, so that feels good. I'm so excited to move on to the next part of Windenburg. I have a whole Pinterest board just filled with ideas for that neighborhood. And I think I'm going to do 1 renovation and the rest are just going to be complete. I'm just going to demolish and start from the ground up because that's kind of what I prefer to do over renovations. Unless it's a community lot, then I am all about the renovating. Except for this one, apparently. I can't actually believe that I started from the ground up. I don't know what compelled me to do that, because normally I just think I'll do it the easier way. That way it's like less work, less daunting. But for this one, I really just kind of took it on, and I'm actually super excited with how it turned out. It's a pretty small bar, but it's got a patio area and like an upstairs patio area as well. And then like the whole open ceiling. So that kind of helps to open up the space a little bit more, and then also it's less work. So if your Sims can't actually go upstairs, which they can't by the way, it's less to furnish. It's a lot less to furnish. And sorry, my phone just went off. But yeah, so I think that putting in these lights and having those big hanging lights that go from this top floor down, it just kind of fills up that empty ceiling a little bit more. It doesn't have the most light though. Like the lights that I chose were not the best, but also my idea was like these lots are supposed to be really, really old. So, I mean, there are a few flaws with them, and maybe lighting is one of them. But I do like the 2 pillars that I did that hold the bar. Not hold it together, but kind of like encase it. I don't know. I think it looks really good because sometimes the bars can look a little bit awkward, like they're just in the middle of the room and they're not really built in. So I thought that looked a little bit better. I did add a foosball table. There are 2 bathrooms. I think they're just gender neutral though. I didn't want to do 1 big bathroom with like stalls, so I just did 2 separate bathrooms. Anybody can use them. And I think I also put in a couple of dart boards. I had to place a bunch of dining chairs just randomly throughout the build because you do need, I think it said 4 dining chairs as the build requirements for a bar. And the ones that I use, like the tall bar stools for the tables and the bar itself, didn't count as dining chairs. So I had to add a bunch throughout the build. And I think that's pretty much it for the inside. Just finding things to add into like the corners, and I didn't want empty space. I wanted it to be a little bit more cluttered up. So I just added like some pictures and some wall hangings here. I'm just like filling up every space that I can because I do want it to have that sort of old-timey, almost tacky old bar feel. That's really what I was going for. Hence like the flags and those really old wall lights that I would never use anywhere else. And this hideous table. I thought it was perfect for this build, even though I really hate it. And I think that is it for the inside. Now we're going to the outside where I put some tables and chairs, the ones with umbrellas, but I actually end up changing that out and putting in picnic tables. And then I sized down those tables with the umbrellas so that you could have an umbrella on the picnic table, if that makes sense. I did look for an umbrella as an individual item, but I couldn't find one that worked with the picnic table. So I had to kind of finagle with the other tables and like merge them together to make that work. I did put a little bar outside as well. It'll be the kind of bar that you have to like go to yourself. There won't be a bartender at this bar. But yeah, it's mostly just for looks. And then I did put a couple more picnic tables underneath that little patio. And so here you can see that I just clipped those small tables into the picnic tables just to get that umbrella. And I think that is pretty much it for this build. So you can download this on the gallery. My origin ID is SimQueen1992. If you guys enjoyed this speed build, please give it a thumbs up, comment down below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.